So, hello and welcome to this video program, and this segment will be about the so-called dual career. What exactly that means, we will discuss it in a few minutes. But first of all, let me introduce Professor Mária Dunavölgyi, Senior Assistant Lecturer of Corvinus University of Budapest. I am Csaba Kis. I'm working at the same university, and I'm a senior assistant lecturer as well. We work for the Institute of Management, and we are very happy that you are watching us now. Welcome, Professor.
Yeah, hello. Let me introduce myself because my professional career was not really a typical university or academic career, because before I joined the university some years ago, I had a career in business. I used to be the CEO of the Budapest Stock Exchange. I was partner at Deloitte, and I was also for a couple of years the regional head of MasterCard. So when I'm talking to you, then what I'm saying is partly based on my academic knowledge, what I teach and what I research, but it is also based on my professional experience.
For joining us today. And first of all, if we talk about work, if we talk about profession, or if we talk about life, why do we start doing things? Why do we put effort in things? That is the first thing I think we shall talk about before starting to discuss careers and career paths in details. So why do we put effort in things generally in life?
Yeah, we have different motivations. This is how we call it in science. And if we think of that, what is the base? The base is that we need to breathe, we need some food, we need to drink something. On top of it, it is very good for us if there is a safe place. And we say it at the time of a terrible war, when a lot of people are lacking this. So this is very important to have a home for us where we feel relaxed. And then after this, we have social needs. We like to be loved, and we like to love people, family, friends. And then what research says, that the final stage of motivation, which is not necessarily the final in time, but what is the higher level of motivation, is self-actualization, when we feel that we do what we are for, and also something where we can feel that we are the best, we can win, we get the respect from the others. So these are basically the motivations that are driving our actions.
Yes, so those young women who are watching us now, probably they are playing ice hockey because of the so-called higher order needs. So because they find friends there, and good friends are playing ice hockey as well. And of course, it helps to build self-confidence. And of course, self-actualization is about doing what we really like to do, to be what we can be. We feel that we were born to do this. We just feel our talent. But of course, these young women are students as well. And we think about going to school. Probably it's not always about self-actualization. It is sometimes an obligation as well. So probably we are students, we are hockey players at the same time, and it's something that we call roles in our life. We have to fulfill several roles. There are roles which are motivating us, there are roles which are an obligation, and so on. Why is it important to know about roles and to manage our roles in a conscious way?
Yeah. You may remember I mentioned that I used to be the CEO of the Budapest Stock Exchange, and then I had chance to see in practice what is actually written in research papers as well, that risk management is very important. So it is very good if you do what you love. It is very good if you do something you feel that you are meant for. And it can be hockey, for example. But we know that sports life is risky. Anything can happen. You get hurt, you have an accident, you lose some motivation, you feel that that it is not the same as it is used to be. And then it is very important to have another alternative, another like a safety net. You know, there is an English saying that never put the eggs to the same basket, and this holds here as well, that it is good if beyond your sportive career you have another option. If whatever happens, then there is something else you can go on with, and that provides education.
And of course, this might be a big challenge to manage, because if we fulfill several roles at the same time, we have limited time, we have limited energy, we have limited attention, and the multiple roles require the sharing of these limited resources. And probably those students who doesn't play any sports have some sort of advantage when considering going to university, because they have more time, more energy to prepare for these very important entry exams, or during the university to prepare for these exams. But we don't have to be afraid of fulfilling multiple roles, and we don't have to be afraid of the exhaustion of our resources. How can we try to balance our multiple roles, and how can we manage our multiple roles in our life?
Yeah, I think then we go back to motivation again. And this is what I was talking about, that if we are motivated, so if a person understands that there is priority one that she or he does, but still there is a need to have a secondary one that can provide a strong drive, strong motivation to do that as well. We know that there are universities which really appreciate if someone is someone has good results in sports. So that is another motivation if you can find an opportunity like that. And there is one more thing. What is good to know, that while you are doing your sports, you are learning something that is not easy to learn all in all. So you learn how to play in team, you learn how to compete, you compete with the other team, but at the same time, so you compete and you cooperate at the same time. It is not easy, believe me. It may sound easy for you, but for a lot of people it is not. And another thing, young women, that we know from a lot of study that, and I experienced it in my life, you know, I was always, unfortunately, the only woman in the top management team where I worked, that there are a lot of unconscious biases towards women. Even women can develop some inferiority complex or some bad feelings about their abilities. And I think sports help you to overcome all of this. So even if we think of how you will perform in life, you have a lot of advantage already. And if you have a good profession next to it, you can have fantastic future as long as you are alive.
And that is what we call a dual career, a so-called dual career, when we talk about the combination of an athletic career with an education or with an occupation, with a profession. And of course, it can be a huge challenge to pursue a role in formal education, to be a university student and a highly competitive athlete, going to training sessions, going to matches, and being there in the university, attending the lectures and doing the exams. But if you can manage it, then you will have a huge advantage to other people who didn't, who don't have these competences.
Absolutely. And, you know, nothing is easy, we know, but there are things that we do and not easy, but we feel easy because we like that. So this is a real point. So again, going back to motivation. So that is important. If you go and you study because you know that you have to, you will do that. But if you believe in that you are building a future career with this, that can provide you additional fuel, additional happiness when you do that. And you know, while you do, I never tried hockey. When I watch it on screen, I always absolutely appreciate those people who really fight, who really, like the knights in the Middle Ages. It is really something very tough. And when women do it, I mean, that is fantastic. So you have the ability to do this and to overcome challenges. So please think of that. Sometimes when you feel that you are tired, that you are fed up, just find your self-motivation inside you.
And that can help to achieve a healthy so-called work-life balance. I think that is an important thing which is worth mentioning, the so-called work-life balance, because of course we have a work, we have a family, we have friends, we would like to have fun, we would like to have good health. And if we engage in roles that help these, then we can live a complete life, a happy life, and these roles can strengthen each other. So yes, sometimes we might feel that our work gives a lot of challenge because we have to spend time working and we can't be with our child, for example, or with our children. That might be a so-called work-life conflict or work-family conflict. But sport can teach us how to handle multiple roles, and that can be transferred to other domains to our life. And of course, women have to fulfill a lot of roles, to be a mother, to be a boss, to be a coach, to be a hockey player. We can name several roles which might be fulfilled. And sometimes this balance is not easy.
Yeah, Csaba mentioned work-life balance. Let me share you my life experience. I have 2 children. They are very successful and very nice, you know, you hear the mother. But one of them is a very successful mathematician and the other is a very good economist. And at the same time, we both had high rank roles, my husband and me, their father and me. And what was the secret? And this is what you are learning every day in your team. We were a very good team, we two. And that is another important thing, that finding people in life with whom you can make teams, with your husband, with your family members, that can provide a lot of help for women. So when I worked in CEO positions and I was interviewed by journalists, and I was asked whether my husband helps, I always said, no, he doesn't help, he participates, which means a lot. So that is another lesson you are learning while you are playing in a team, when you cooperating team members, which is very important in life. And that can help you to delegate certain things, certain jobs, and to be able to keep focus on the real important issues in your life.
At this age, so these young ladies who are watching us, probably they are 14, 15, 16 years old now. Probably it might sound a bit scary to make such big decisions about even one career, not 2, and a dual career. And of course, we know that women's ice hockey offer a limited number of professional jobs. So there are only a few professional ice hockey players. And of course, we might expect that the number of professional women ice hockey players will increase in the future. However, there is still a long way to go. How can we get closer to a decision regarding the university or regarding the profession we would like to choose? What can help our viewers to try and start thinking about their future career or career path?
I think what is important to understand your priorities, and that is not always easy. So if you think about your future, I remember when I was 14, 15, I was a bit unmatured. So I was sort of childish girl, and then my father died, and that was a very sudden case. I loved him a lot, and I never thought before that he was such a solid base in my life. And then I had to get matured in a faster way. And then I started to think about the future. And what is good to talk to people, to get a deeper understanding what they do, because that is much easier to think of, let's say, a university study, if you have some idea about your profession that you would like to fulfill. Then it could be that it is something else. You know, it is not like it is an ironclad thing and then we cannot divert, you know, from that. But it is something you can work on in an ongoing way. You collect information, you get inspiration, you get, you know, certain feelings. And that is important. So to try to extend a little bit your view from today, from 1 year, from 2 years, a little bit for a longer time. And then if you have some vision on your future, then that can also help you to make your choice and to develop a motivation, to develop a drive on that area that you find attractive. Okay, so we mentioned the fact that you are good in cooperation in a team. So people who can help you in building your future vision are your friends, your family members, your coach, people you can rely on. If you talk to them about your idea or what you heard from us, that it would be good to develop some vision that is motivating you, that helps you to understand the importance of the dual career and the importance of building some alternative career path that can help you a lot. So I think turn to people whom you trust, and I'm sure that they will help you, and it will be a very good experience for you. So far, I talked a lot, and Csaba was most like an interviewer, but now let's turn the roles, and now I ask him, because as we work together, I know that he's quite involved in hockey as a reporter, you know, like a sort of journalist. And he's also very keen on helping in career building of sportsmen and sportswomen. So let me ask him whether there is any good example he can mention to you.
Yes, in our university, in the Corvinus University of Budapest, we have a master degree program called Master in Sport Economics, which is designed carefully to have the dual career path, and that is the reason why it attracts several highly competitive athletes from diverse sports. And for example, one of the most famous and most successful young Hungarian ice hockey player, Csanád Erdei, has a degree in this program, and I was lucky enough to teach him and to be his thesis supervisor. And of course, I have seen and I have witnessed how difficult it might be to arrive home from an away game 6 a.m. in the morning, sleeping only in the bus a few hours, and then being there 8 a.m. Starting the day on my class. But Csanád, who is really a high-profile athlete, we might say that he's a star player in Hungary. And of course, he could have said that, okay, I'm too tired to join the class and request some sort of a special treatment. But no, he was there, he was present, and he was paying attention, and he was answering the questions, and he was doing the exercises properly. And he not only has a degree and has a paper, but he has those competencies which will help him a lot after the career, which we hope, of course, will be in the distant future, 10 years or more. We wish him a long and successful career. But in the life of every athlete, there comes a point when the professional career ends, and he will have a huge advantage. Let me say another example. The club manager of the most successful Hungarian ice hockey club, Fehérvár AV19, which competes and was the second silver medalist in the ice hockey league, which is a very competitive hockey league in Austria, Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovenia. And the club manager is a lawyer who finished his law studies during those days where he was a national ice hockey player. And after finishing his career, after ending his career, he started as a sport manager. And now he is a highly successful general manager of the most famous Hungarian ice hockey club. So these are only two examples, but now in Hungary, more and more ice hockey players, men and women, are doing their studies. And I might say that most of the ice hockey players who are active and professional players, they are studying, for example, in the University of Physical Education or economics or law, or we might say other examples as well.
Yeah, and if I take the example from my generation, then swimmers, for example, who were world famous, they became medical doctors or veterinarians, and they are very successful in their business. And the veterinarian gentleman, he established his own entrepreneurship, and he could use his, the trust towards him, as people could see that he was very hardworking when he was in sports, and they relied on him. So his entrepreneurship became very successful. And the swimming lady whom I'm talking about, she's a pediatrician, and she's also very famous and very popular. So this is another advantage if you have success in sports, that it is not just the skills you develop unconsciously when you are doing sports, and which skills can help you a lot later on in your future career, but it can also be trust towards you when people know that you were good in competitive sports, and that can also help you to be very successful later on with the profession.
Yes, and I think it's very important to underline that the so-called transferability of skills is very important, because ice hockey needs quick thinking, team to be playing team, system thinking, and these can help you in the university as well. Think quickly, learn quickly, adapt quickly, and work together with other people. And this can help you in several professions.
Yeah, I think because it is a very quick sport. So like understanding situation quickly, solving an unexpected situation. So all these things help you a lot.
Yes, and of course, we have to mention that even a professional athlete has a lot of spare time, because after the training sessions, well, the day is long. So I'm sure that in your country there are several opportunities to find those studies, or even if it is a university or a profession. which can be compatible with your professional activities. And on the other hand, it's very important that probably the young ladies at your age or in your team, they will consider going to university or start learning a profession as well. So that can be very helpful as well, because you already have some friends who you can talk about and you can discuss and share your ideas, and probably go to the same university, start it together, and then yes, you might find different ways in the future, but to start somewhere, it's important. And one important thing I would like to emphasize, that when we think about a career, it's not like a train ride that it goes on a predefined track. It's much more like going with a mountain bike. So you have to find your own way, sometimes to the left, sometimes to the right, and you find new paths and even ways which you don't even thought before. And if you start a profession at the age of 25 or 30 or 35, you might start something new 10 years later, 15 years later. And that is what sometimes experts refer to as lifelong learning. So we have to prepare ourselves to acquire new skills as our life goes on. And I think Professor Dunavölgyi can share this idea, because the PhD studies was a nice addition to your professional career.
Yeah, so my life was a series of surprises. I was born in a socialist country. I went to a university where I studied, a lot of things about socialism, whatever. And then I applied for a job to the UN, to New York City. And that was the first challenge. And frankly speaking, I was not sure whether I would be successful. And surprise, surprise, there were 4 countries where this competitive exam was arranged. I was the number 1. So, that was a nice experience. So I lived there in New York City for 4 years. And I developed a lot of skills like multicultural adaptability and other things. And when I came home, that was the new Hungary, where the experience I gained abroad meant a lot. This is why I got my promotions. And then it was on. And when the business life changed in Hungary, and I didn't like the climate so much anymore, then I got an invitation to the university to be the head of the MBA program, where we were very successful. But all of a sudden I realized that my university doctorate lost its value. And then I joined a PhD program over 50. And I was nicely offered by the university that they said, oh, you don't have to come to the classes. There are the books, you can prepare. And then I told them, come on, I want to go back to school. I want to have friends who are younger than me, with whom I can study new things. And I enjoyed that a lot. And then now it is a new life. And I love it very much to share my experience, to do research. So, lifelong learning is not just a phrase, this is life. And, we know that everything is speeding up. Changes are faster and faster. So that is another reason why it is always good to keep your flexibility. And part of flexibility is not just psychological, but also to have this dual career opportunity, to have a B plan, to have a safety net that can be provided by a profession or by a university.
Thank you very much, Professor. And unfortunately, our dedicated time is up now, so we have to conclude our conversation. I honestly hope that these thoughts which we shared will help our viewers to build a very successful professional career and sports career. And I hope that one of the main messages, not to drift with the waves, but to make decisions based on our own motivations, is very, very important. So thank you for being with us in the last 30 minutes.
Thank you for inviting me.
And we wish you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.